In this video, we're going to use a uniform probability density curve and determine the continuous probability. Now, a uniform probability density curve is one where the height of the curve is the same for the entire length. Now, this curve, we're going to have it be the continuous probability of us randomly selecting a number between 1 and 3. Now we can pick any of the numbers between 1 and 3 because, again, we're doing continuous probability. The shape of a uniform probability density curve is always a rectangle. So we can use the equations for the area of a rectangle to find what our continuous probability is. In the height of this rectangle, we do have to take into account that the area under the entire curve is 1. And that's true for every probability density curve. Now we know the width of this rectangle is just 3 minus 1, or 2. And so 1 divided by 2 will give us the height of the rectangle, which is 1/2. Now that we have the height of this rectangle, we can go ahead and find the probability for all events. Let's take and find the probability that we randomly select a number between 1.5 and 2.5. So we're looking at this range of numbers. So we go ahead and find the width, or the distance between 1.5 and 2.5. So 2.5 minus 1.5 is 1. And then we multiply it by the height of the rectangle, which is 1/2. And so 1/2 multiplied by 1 is 1/2. So we have a 50% chance that we'll randomly select a number between 1.5 and 2.5. Let's go ahead and look at the probability of getting exactly 2.75 here. Now we'll go ahead and find the width of that rectangle. So the outer edge of one side is 2.75, which is also the lower edge. So the width is 2.75 minus 2.75, which is 0. And then the height, which is 1/2. 0 times 1/2 is just 0. So the probability of getting exactly 2.75 is 0. Now, if we were to look for the probability of getting a number less than 1.25, we only actually worry about the range between 1 and 1.25, because while there are numbers less than 1, they aren't actually in our range because the probability density curve doesn't go over those numbers. So the height of everything less than 1 is 0, so we can just ignore that. So we can find our range between 1 and 1.25, which is 0.25, and then divide that by 2, gives us the probability is 0.125, or 12.5%.